I ask for the truth on behalf of Ty King concerning relationship issues. Is there a love life round the corner? Will it ever happen? What's going on? Doesn't seem as if there's much luck in love just lately. I ask this in the name of truth, right conduct, peace, love and non-violence. Blessed be to the truth, always. And we just cut the psychic tarot there and move the cards to the side. And we'll deal out 3 cards for you there, Ty, just to see what the crack is. See what's been going on with love or the lack of it. The first card we deal here is, we do a spread of 3 cards, as we say there. The first card is to do with the past, the recent past, about a moon phase behind. That's about 3 or 4 weeks or so ago, isn't it? And then of course Ty King here right now and at present, that the energy, the vibration of that card there is linked to you right now. And then of course where Ty King will be in the immediate future, just there, look. So we've got that timeline, haven't we? I suppose about like Facebook and Twitter and things like that, isn't it? Let's see, before we look into what's happening in about 3 or 4 weeks or so into the future, the moon phase ahead, let's see what will be, what's been taking place or what's been going on just recently in the past 3 or 4 weeks or so ago concerning your relationship issue or the lack of it, as you would say. Let's just flip the card over nice and slow, and the meaning of this card will be relevant to your relationship in the recent past or the lack of it, as you would say. And it may give some insight, of course, and some guidance maybe of what the crack is, what's going on or what's been going on. And just recently what's been going on there, really, I suppose you really, I suppose, suffering in silence. I think that's really what it's about, isn't it? Look, it even says it there. Look, we've got a sort of it's a bit like an oracle deck, isn't it? It's done that way, suffering in silence, and that's literally what it is, I suppose. The 9 of Wands, of course, it tends to be that, doesn't it? It tends to be focusing on that. Wands is fire or whatever, and of course the Lord of Oppression. That's what it seems to be, doesn't it? The suffering in silence, or the being bullied or being got at in some way. Notice how you're looking at this mountain range over like a foggy sort of sea on the edge of a cliff or something, and you can sort of see the mountains there, the peaks. I suppose they are the peaks of potential, aren't they? The potential peaks of relationship peaks or love lives or love lives that you could be in. You can see it, but you just can't quite reach it. You can't quite reach and get it there. And that's what it is, and you're so suffering in silence because you can't, you somehow feel as though you can't tell anybody about this, because if you do, they'll go, ah, ha, 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 so you can't find a boyfriend or whatever. We've got one. All your friends seem to be sort of in relationships, and you just don't want to sort of maybe say why you think it is, because you know the truth and you are truthful to yourself maybe about that, and that's what makes you suffer even more, and that's what makes it hurt even more. That's what brings the darkness in, doesn't it? Let's just see, of course, what's going on right now. Let's see what the energy is right now there. Let's just flip it over nice and slow just to see what's going on. Well, for as much as you've been recently suffering in silence, nevertheless, rest and rejuvenation in some capacity or other, just to rest and rejuvenate or whatever. The 4 of Wands there, that's the Lord of Completion normally, but it seems to be focusing on really just taking time out. Aren't I resting enough? Aren't I taking enough time out? Suffering in silence, having time to myself too much. having time to think about too many, maybe that's what it is, too much time to think about too many negative things, and one needs a rest even from yourself, even a rest from the suffering that you experience. May all beings be happy, may all beings be free from suffering. That's what may the dual of the eternal lotus, the Om Mani Padme Hum mantra on the Mani wheel there. We can spin the Buddhist prayer wheel just try and send as you see the wheel spin. We can hope that the embodiment of compassion and enlightenment can be sent to you there as a sort of healing in some way as we just go through this. Let's just see the next card. Let's just see what is in the immediate future, what potentially is just around the corner. Do you come out of that rest, and when you do, what happens, or does it manifest itself in another way? What's actually going on here? Of course, sacrifice 12, the Hanged Man. That's often referred to as the Hanged Man. This tends to focus on sacrifice there, as if maybe that's what it is. Once you've, of course, resting in silence whilst you are resting by the tree or whatever it is, by the life force, or in the forest as you do rest, and whatever you can. You will have time to think, and not that all you've got time for now is to suffer and maybe wallow in one's self-pity. I don't know, maybe it's a pity party, I don't know what it is. But certainly as one is resting right now and trying to get some rest from one's either self-inflicted suffering, or in the sense self-inflicted in the sense of reminding oneself of all the things that one could have and hasn't got, and feeling sorry for yourself and whatever. But either way, nevertheless, sacrifice is there, isn't it? The Hanged Man, of course, indicating to you that you must, of course, transcend. You must move onto an higher level, spiritually, physically, and whatever, to get yourself and to extricate yourself from this. And that's really what it's about, isn't it? To get yourself out of this mire of self-pity, or this mire of seeing the potentials and not being able to reach over to get to them, and so near, and it's been so near and yet so far, and of course that suffering in silence is sort of now maybe pause for thought, maybe to rejuvenate. The only way you can rejuvenate and get out of this is to accept that it's complete, and just accept that one needs just a bit of rest from yourself as well as from that which is causing the trouble to your soul. And that's the only way that maybe light can come in, by you making that sacrifice, by you getting out there and hunting it down, or doing what you aren't doing now. What is everybody else doing that you aren't? Why have all your friends got relationships and in happy relationships and you're not? What is it that they are doing that you aren't? Is it something that you're happy doing? Maybe sometimes people suffer in silence and like it because it means they've got something to blame for their suffering, although not necessarily self-inflicted, of course, but you can hit a hard time or a bad patch in life, and then that bad patch can sort of get at you, and you somehow don't want to do anything. You can let yourself go, can't you? And by just resting and rejuvenating, not doing everything all at once, and going hell for leather to get things done, but doing a bit at a time maybe. But you've got to make that sacrifice. You've got to clear out the clutter, haven't you? That's what it's about. I want to pull out some runes here. I don't know why, but I just feel as though some runes are coming out to just see what's been going on. The suffering in silence, together with, of course, together with together with the Perthrow there, the cup. Of course, when you put it that way, it's the cup that the dice goes in when you cast lots, but it's also read like that, viewed like that. And of course, maybe that's what it is. Been just taking things by chance, taking a gamble, and as one suffers in silence, that's the gamble that one is prepared to take, the chance that one is prepared to take, that as one does suffer in silence, and as one does experience the oppression, one hopes that it will come to an end. One casts lots and just hopes that it will end. Not that one will make a sacrifice and do something to end it, but just hope that it will end. But now one is resting, one is trying to rejuvenate from that, trying to refresh oneself maybe by doing something else, or listening to some music, or socialising in another place, another sort of peer group or something. The rejuvenation is energised by the Othala there, the ancestral home, the inheritance. Maybe there is something that you've inherited, from the last relationship, the oppression, the abuse, maybe, or the arguments, or whatever it is that caused this. And you're trying to rejuvenate not only from the suffering and silence and the fact that you've tried to gamble it and cast lots, hoping that it'll come to an end just by hoping alone, just by sitting and hoping it will happen. At the same time, you've inherited this rejuvenation, maybe this rest. You've inherited something from that which is given. Of course, whilst you're rejuvenating, whilst you're sleeping, as you would say, in like a spiritual sleep, whilst you sit by the tree, not necessarily asleep, of course, but just at least resting, and it gives you time to think about what you've inherited, what you've got from this, how it's affected you, of course, and other things, maybe the physical and the emotional scars that have come from that. What sacrifice does one have to make? Well, of course, you've got need. Not so much gifu as in the gift with the axe, but it's more like a line straight down and then another line across, diagonally, so to speak. And it's need, as if there is a necessity there. Necessity calls for sacrifice, calls for you to do something. The only way you can get out of this is clarifying it very clearly. Odin is speaking here very, very clearly, and Spirit is speaking to you very clearly here through this shamanic energy that is here now, just speaking of that. And I think just to help that healing energy again, we will just say the Om Mani Padme Hum mantra, and we will just spin the Buddhist prayer wheel, just hopefully as you see the spinning wheel there, it's Om Mani Padme Hum mantra energy will be sent to you and heal you, and hope, let us hope, that the suffering in silence that is coming to some form of conclusion and completion. You've inherited this completion, the necessity, the need will help you. The magic of the need, I mean, using runes for magic, of course, need isn't just to put you in, isn't so much to depict that you are in need, but it can put you in need and help things move quicker. So let's hope the necessity for this sacrifice comes, and let's hope that you make whatever sacrifice you need to make. Blessed be to Odin and all the Norse gods. And for now, Tai, these cards have spoken. Om Mani Padme Hum.